to another gathering of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. Have a seat by the fire as we prepare to help you unlock the secrets of the travel life. From theme park thrills to Purple Mountain's majesty, we want to see it all and do it all, and we want to help you do the same. We all have those bucket list trips, once-in-a-lifetime destinations that we'll get to someday. We're here to help you make your travel dreams a reality. Buy the ticket, take the trip. Where do you want to go?
Come on, come on, come on, now tell me what's on your bucket list. Okay, hey, okay, hey. It's a beautiful day. Okay, hey, okay, hey. It's a beautiful day.
Welcome back to another meeting of the Gold Key Adventurers Society. My name is Dan Leonard.
Hi, Dan.
Hi, Dan.
And joining me this week in the studio is Heather Strait.
Hello.
And Mr. Jeff Williams.
Hey, that's me.
Sure is. Our show, as always, is brought to you by Key to the World Travel. Key to the World Travel is a full-service travel agency specializing in theme parks, cruising, and destinations around the world. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com for more details and a no-obligation quote on the vacation of a lifetime. Recently, Universal Orlando made the biggest theme park announcement of the year.
Was it epic?
Wait,
Is it the kiddie park in Texas?
yeah. Yeah, all the details on that exciting construction project. They released the largest collection yet of information about Epic Universe, the new theme park and resort hotels that they're opening in 2025.
And confirmed some things we all knew.
They're filling in some blanks. They didn't have a lot of details for most of the lands, but we're going to take a look at what they've officially told us about and what we kind of know from filling in blanks.
I feel like this is like the first official even acknowledgement of some of these lands. You know, we do about Super Nintendo World, but the rest of them were just sort of gleaning information from concept art.
It's so funny to me how they do that, because they just always wait till all the bloggers and the bioreconstruct aerial footage and everything proves that it's how to train your dragon, and then like, well, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. We're not going to talk about it, but it's there. Yeah, even like we'll get into it. Let's get into it. Let's talk about, first of all, on the periphery of this site. So where is this located? It is, it's a little bit of a hike away from the rest of the theme parks, about 15 minutes away. It's kind of on the other side of the Endless Summer resort.
Yeah, it's not too far from Endless Summer if you drive out towards them and keep going.
Yeah, it's just past
them.
I-Drive or whatever, I-4 from there. Or whatever that is, whatever that road is.
Yeah, so it's not like you're going to be able to just hop on over like you can between the two.
There's not going to be any walking from between this and the other two parks.
Right.
But
Or
they
three,
are
if you
extending
think
their
that
own
Volcano
entire
Bay is
road
one.
out there to it that previously did not connect. So it's a major, major project.
Yeah, they've done a ton of that infrastructure stuff. And right on the periphery of the park, we've got some exciting new hotels
That are really not that far off from opening, and the construction progress is looking great. I just saw a video.
One of them
I think
way further
yesterday.
along.
Yeah, I just saw a video yesterday of it, and they're really far along, and they look very cool.
Yeah, so the hotels are slated to open before Epic Universe, the park does, at least two of them. So we've got these twin resorts, Stella Nova and Terra Luna. They are opening in February of next year, and these are some really cool looking hotels. They're kind of that deluxe, or not deluxe. I'm sorry, the value plus kind of. They're very modern, really. They don't feel like what I think of when I hear the word value hotel. They're reminiscent of kind of a mix between Endless Summer and Aventura, and that's right where they price too. I think the single rooms are like $130 a night to start.
Very, very reasonable.
They look really cool too. They're kind of that constant, like the front of the park look. They're all like retro future kind of.
Stella Nova is giving me sort of space vibes, a little bit like kind of what we all hoped that the Star Cruiser might be. It's very cool looking.
Yeah, I think they're both kind of that same.
Yeah, the rooms in them especially, they have a window that looks very much like the viewport in the Star Cruiser
That's why
rooms.
it was giving me Star Cruiser vibes.
Yeah. Yeah, but they're modern.
It looks like if Star Cruiser wasn't a prison ship.
They're kind of like that modern minimalist kind of interior that you see at Aventura. It looks like, but a little bit more space.
And these first two, Stella Nova and Terra Luna, are opening actually in February. So about a year from now, those two will be open. And they have wanted to point out that they will open before the park, and they're still not revealing when in the year the park's going to open. But there will be.
It's actually next Wednesday.
Yeah, they did confirm that there will be transportation from Stella Nova and Terra Luna over to studios and Islands of Adventure. So,
naturally there would have to be. And these are open a little bit earlier because they're not right up on the park like the other one. This Universal Grand Helios Hotel.
This one is what I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, and we don't have a firm date on this other than sometime in 2025 because it is a phenomenal Mediterranean-inspired deluxe resort hotel that is the first entry into the park.
Yeah, this is going to be like at Disneyland Paris and Tokyo Disneyland, where they have a huge, beautiful deluxe hotel that gives
Grand Californian.
Yeah, that gives you direct access into this park, which is amazing. I'm so excited for that. And one of the other things they confirmed with these recent announcements is there's not going to be a city walk style place where you have to park and enter these. You're not going to have to go park over at City Walk and take transportation. There will be parking specifically for Epic Universe, which is cool.
Yeah, that's nice.
And makes a lot of sense because it's a bit of a drive from City Walk.
Right. Yeah, we don't have a ton of details on what the interior of the Helios Grand looks like, or restaurants, anything like that. They don't have it. The website just said details coming soon. But
this is another one that was rumored. We all had heard the rumors this was going to happen, and they kind of slid it into this announcement that yes, this is happening.
Yeah.
What?
Right.
Helios Grand.
Being
previously they hadn't officially announced the name of it or anything, but it was all out there in the blogosphere, and we were all just assuming that people had it correct,
which largely they do. So moving into the park itself, it's 5 lands. Although one is kind of a hub, it's very similar to how the Disney theme parks are laid out, where you've got this central hub land, which is called Celestial Park.
But there are going to be rides in the hub section, right? That sort of surprised me.
Did you see the fly-through that they put out, the video?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll link this. They have a fly-through video that we'll show, and it looks phenomenal. So it's a full-blown land on its own. There's these portals that are these kind of steampunky looking portals into each of the magic lands. But let's talk for a minute about Celestial Park, because this is the only land that they've really officially released a lot of details for. So not only is it going to transport you to the other lands, but it's kind of built around this kind of spacey kind of feel itself. We've got a launched racing roller coaster going in there.
This thing looks really cool.
Yeah, Starfall Racers, where each of the cars is a comet racing through outer space.
I love the description they said about this one, that it's going to be even cooler at night. It will all be lit up, and the cars racing will look like comets at night.
Yeah, they look like comets, and this is a big, fast roller coaster. It is max height of 130 feet and max speed of 62 miles an hour. And I saw something saying there's no braking zones. You're just going balls to the wall.
What?
Through the entire, yeah, there's no brake sections. It is a real race through space. They are just sending you out.
Fun.
The whole look of this part of the park is so cool to me. It's somewhere between like the Jules Verne look of the Tomorrowland at Disneyland Paris, and then like the Renaissance looking stuff in the Star Wars prequels. It's kind of got that gilded vibe,
totally.
with lights and gold trim everywhere and a lot of brass. It looks super, super cool. A lot of glass.
Yeah,
really cool.
Yeah. Steampunk isn't quite the right word for it. It is with the stained glass and everything. It's a lot
It's got
more.
a lot of glass. It's like a
refined.
future retro look that almost looks like old Grand Central Station,
retro
and
future,
Crystal
I love
Palace,
that.
and these kinds of looks.
Yeah,
It's
there's
really
going to
cool.
be a fancy restaurant in there, right? That's
Yeah, there's a pair of restaurants. There's one. It's what is it called? Atlantic, which is super cool. Floor to ceiling glass windows. So the idea is you are inside a gigantic aquarium, and the ceiling is a giant screen where there's going to be fish swimming over your head.
So it
as you
looks
eat
like
surf
you're
and
sort
turf.
of under the sea
Under the
while
water,
you're
yeah.
eating.
Yeah.
So cool.
And then the
Yep.
Pan-Asian place looks super dope and neon
Yeah.
and
Yes.
really cool glowing
Blue
neon
Dragon
dragons.
Pan
and stuff.
Asian.
Yep.
Ugh,
Yeah.
it's killer.
Yeah, and that's going to have a variety of cuisines from across all of Asia, as the name things. But it looks like it's just there's going to be an outdoor kind of garden area. There's what is it? Not the Crouching Tiger. There's a something tiger bar inside.
Crunching
of
Tiger, Hidden Dragon.
Yeah.
Yes.
And a
Yes.
beautiful big carousel. I like that idea too. So there's already we can see that they're going for attractions for all ages in this park.
Yeah, and the carousel is gorgeous with, again, that stained glass. But did you catch all of the creatures on it? They're going to be inspired by various zodiacs and the constellations.
Ooh.
And then the cool thing about it is not only does it go around in circles like a carousel, but then the individual animals also spin.
Oh,
so it's going to be
cool.
like planets revolving through spinning as they
Love that.
spin. Yeah, that's really cool. They're also going to have a Super Nintendo World store in this area.
It is weird that that's in the Celestial Park area rather than in the Super Nintendo World area.
Well, they want you to buy your power-up bands before you go.
That's what
into
I was
Super
wondering.
Nintendo.
If that's
That makes sense.
get you to
And since-
purchase your merch ahead of time.
Yeah, since they don't have, because really this area kind of takes the place of City Walk.
Yeah.
I'm sure there will be more dining and there's going to be more shopping in there, but they want to give you a chance to get your power-up band before you go into Super Nintendo.
And it also then doesn't take up real estate in Super Nintendo World, I would think. They can make it.
Yeah, it looks like it's got basically the same footprint as the other parks.
Actually, it's a little bit bigger because
It will be the
is
biggest
expanded.
one in the world.
Yeah, so it's got everything that's at Hollywood plus the Yoshi ride that's in Japan. But then on top of that, we're getting a whole new first in the world ride. It's a Donkey Kong Country roller coaster, which looks amazing.
It looks so cool. The way it on that arm, it makes it look like it's jumping track. So there's a faux track above the real track that looks like a rickety old minecart track.
We've talked about this before when we've seen some proposals come up for it, and it's exciting to see that it's actually happening.
Oh, and it looks super cool now that you see the aerial footage of this thing. It's really cool.
Yeah. They do have a lot of the exterior work on that building. I know I've seen pictures of done. One interesting thing that I noticed, so from the Celestial Park area, like I said, there's these portals into the different land. And so they're kind of sticking with that retro future. It's almost like a Stargate kind of thing,
Mm-hmm.
which for Super Nintendo, it looks a little funny. I like the other parks you walk through a warp pipe. So this one is a little bit different from there. But then I also like how outside of each of these portals, there's like there's kind of an icon attached to
tower.
it to show you where you're going. Yeah, on the tower. So, for example, in the Wizarding World area, there's that great big elder wand that kind of rises up. So they give you these icons to help you figure out where you're going.
I like the idea of that too. It's sort of keeping in the warp tunnel vibe, but where each one is a warp tunnel like it is in the other parks going into Nintendo World. But it's like a cross between that tunnel and the typical tower icon of the other parks. It's really cool.
And we've gotten confirmation finally that it's going to be Wizarding World of Harry Potter Ministry of Magic. I'm so excited.
This is the weirdest, dumbest thing because they were going to set it in France, and then those movies continued to flop. So they were like, nope, we're going to do Ministry of Magic, but it's still in France somehow.
Yeah, well, see, here's the cool thing. You jump in location and time from Paris in the 20s to England in the 90s for the ride. But so the main area of the land is like full-size Parisian streets with spaces for shopping and dining. It sounds like there's going to be two two restaurants.
They're going to have Smellitzers pumping in authentic BO, so you really feel like you're in actual Paris.
I hope so. And then the rumor is that the way you accomplish getting to London in the 1990s into the ride is you might be going through the Flu network somehow. So there's a magic transportation. And
that would be cool if they pull that off. I mean, they
there's
pulled
already
off
the concept videos of it.
Yeah.
It looks dope.
They really pulled off the Hogwarts Express so well. That was executed perfectly. So if they can do this, I mean, I prefer that if we actually could flush ourselves in like in the movies.
That's what I was going to say.
maybe logistically.
That's how you get out at the end.
The portals kind of look like a berm, like from Lord of the Rings in the Shire. I'm just looking at this picture. It looks like a Hobbit house with a tower on top.
Yep. And the other crazy thing about the Wizarding World, too, if you look at the concept art, the maps, they've released two different ones, and both of them, look at the size of the show building compared to the streets of Paris. Whatever this attraction is going to be is gigantic.
I'm excited.
And there's still an expansion pad on the other side for another mega ride.
And there's part of that space might be for one of the restaurants, because obviously this is not at all confirmed, but I have seen rumors that one of the restaurants may be the Great Hall at Hogwarts.
I will die.
For dining. So maybe, I don't know how they pull off a second magical jump from Paris.
We've been begging for that kind of thing for a long time. So
I'm shocked they didn't
really
do
hope
that
they can
already
make it
somewhere,
happen.
but I guess space constraints.
Yeah, and they don't have that here now. You know, biting the bullet and going down the road and buying up a big piece of land was smart.
It's funny how everybody acts like this is so far away, but it's still closer
really
than the furthest two Disney parks are from each other.
It's 10 to 15 minutes away.
And think about how long
it's just
it
like going
takes
from Animal Kingdom area to Magic Kingdom area.
Yeah. It just doesn't have all of the space in between. But I mean, it's huge, and they definitely do have a couple of big expansions. So that's about all we know officially for the Wizarding World area. Somehow the attraction is supposed to be set inside the Ministry of Magic, and it might have something to do with like the trial of Dolores Umbridge is kind of the rumors we've seen on storyline there. But we don't know for sure.
From the movies, all that fantastic space underneath it would be cool too. Yeah.
So there's a lot of space for them to do some cool storytelling in there. So that's exciting. Let's see. So I guess let's take over. The next thing that we know a lot about is the How to Train Your Dragon area. And again, looking on this map, this land is gigantic. It's the largest one out of all of them, and they have a ton of stuff in there.
I didn't know these movies that there were this many of these movies, and B, that they were a big hit. My son and I saw the first one and loved it, but then he outgrew all that stuff, and I haven't really kept up.
Yeah, they're hugely popular. The movies and Netflix series. So they're great. They're a lot of fun. And this land, there's a multi-launched roller coaster that's Hiccup's Wing Gliders. And somehow you're going to fly as a dragon.
Yes.
There is
that's cool.
The Dragon Racers Rally, which is kind of a spinner ride where you're on these arms, and on one end, opposite of you is a dragon that's on the arm, and you're sitting in a seat with these wings. So it's kind of like you're racing with the other dragons going in circles.
Looks
I don't know
like
if
a
there's
vomit comet.
I'm here for it.
Yeah, there's also the Fire Drill, which is a splash battle style boat ride.
Yeah, the lagoon is monstrous for this thing. It has the big towers rising up out of it.
And they've got giant full-size like Viking ships that are just there for decoration. And then they've got a boat ride going on down below. They also have a live stage show going in there that they haven't officially confirmed again, but from the looks of it, it's going to be the How to Train Your Dragon show that is in Universal Studios Beijing right now, which I looked up some footage of, and it's
amazing.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
Huge puppets and special effects, and it's just the kind of...
I'm glad to see more
spectacle.
Show kind of stuff coming into here. I always felt like they needed more of that in the wizarding world.
Yes. Yeah. Everywhere, really.
To absorb crowd. Just give people 1,000 people something to do at a time.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Keep them in and out, or keep them in so that other people can
and out of my line.
Yeah. There's also going to be a big meet and greet area there. I'm curious to see what that looks like. Are you just meeting the human actors? Are there going to be cool dragons?
I'm hoping they do like the Dynasty Jurassic Park meet and greet with the
that was what I was
Velociraptors.
hoping for.
If they have little dragons you can interact with, big puppets like that would be awesome.
That would be so cool. And I wouldn't be surprised because, not Disney. Disney doesn't. Universal has a bunch of those big creatures. They have been capitalizing on that. And
have you seen this touring dinosaur show that goes around to civic centers and stuff? I can see them doing that kind of thing very easily here with the dragons.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. And that's the whole thing is when we describe these things, we have to remember that their big thing for this whole park is they want to take what they did with the wizarding world, and every single land is going to be that level or better of immersive environments. So you really feel transported to these places, which is just so exciting to me. Like,
this is going to be like a teenager's ultimate park. There's so many like thrill rides, but then like heavily themed and beautiful, but still like just classic awesome coasters going in all over this thing.
Yeah. It's
looking to me like it's the perfect park for families with kids of all ages, because they're putting in stuff right from the get-go that's good for the smaller kids. Yep, all the way up through. And it's really taking the advice that it becomes a full family experience. You get a lot. We still tend to get a lot of feedback from people that they have this idea that the current Universal parks are more for older kids, even though they've put in a lot of stuff for the younger kids and are continuing to do so.
I did notice that when taking my younger kid, there wasn't as much that he could do.
Yeah.
And that's definitely starting to change. Harry Potter and Minions Land. There's a lot of it that's going in for younger kids.
Yes. Yeah.
But don't take away the coasters.
Right. Yeah. And we haven't even hit. There's one more coaster still. So we've got a coaster in the hub area. We've got a coaster in How to Train Your Dragon. We've got a coaster.
A coaster in Nintendo World, the Donkey Kong coaster.
Oh yeah, a coaster in Donkey Kong World, and now we're going to head over to the last announced official land that's going to be opening, Dark Universe.
This is so exciting! we all have been poring over the concept art and saying that it's going to be classic monsters, and they have chosen not to confirm until now.
So there's
killer.
Yeah, so there is a roller coaster there. The speculation is that it's called Curse of the Werewolf or somehow werewolf themed. It's a multi-launched spinning roller coaster ride with the seats that spin, somewhat like Guardians.
Yes.
Epcot.
It does say family spinning roller coaster, so I am imagining it more like Guardians, where they spin you to look at certain show elements throughout the thing.
Right.
It looks like it's about half inside, half outside, too.
A shadowy
giant
gothic landscape where monsters roam. I'm so excited for this.
It's very exciting. So the other attraction in there is this gigantic Frankenstein Manor building that you go into. And it's going to be a dark ride that's going to be on a Kuka arm. So it's going to be it's going to be like at Hogwarts, but going through the monsters. And it is going to probably shove you right up in the face of some of these monsters and stuff.
This is so killer to combine a thrill ride with horror. I mean, like, the adrenaline's going to
Why hasn't anyone done this yet?
I don't know, but here we go. It's going to be so great. And classic Universal Monsters growing up was my ultimate jam. My older brothers were into it. They built all the models of it. We loved it growing up. I'm so excited. And they've done a great job updating the monsters so that they look modern and cool, but they still have the classic vibe to them. The new Frankenstein is Frankenstein's monster, is so killer looking.
That's some of my favorite stuff at Hollywood Halloween horror nights that they do with the classic monsters have been some of my favorite houses and most terrifying.
And a meet and greet with these classic monsters?
Yeah.
OMG.
I did see they just filed a trademark for this area for a bar. It's going to be the Burning Blade Tavern. So the windmill that Frankenstein's monster makes his final stand in. Like that, but it's going to have a bar inside, it sounds like. Again, none of this is confirmed other than we know that they filed this trademark. Yeah, it's a total churro stand, but it sounds like...
Oh, cool. It's a churro stand.
Yeah. I mean, it sounds like that's what the whole land.
Well, they call it a tavern, so maybe it'll look like
this
one of those,
is very exciting.
kind of like in the Harry Potter, the tavern that's in there. So like old school Gothic rundown European tavern. Like that's going to look so cool.
Yeah.
I have to
love
say
on
that go ahead.
The concept art for looking at the portal into that, like everything behind it is gray clouds and like they're going to just control the weather back there all the time, so it's dark and ominous. But if they do enough burming and stuff, they can control.
What did we say the other day?
Put it in a lot of shadow.
Universal announces Epic Universe,
so good at night.
And Disney
I have to say that our friends down the
Epic
road need to
Universe
be
announcement of their own with their video games that they're partnering on.
Because,
oh, cool. No, well. Hopefully, this is going to spur them to fast track some.
And we're going to be on
Fortnite,
Fortnite.
Big Thunder.
Well, I mean, that will make them some money, but it won't help in the theme park war at all.
No.
Yeah, but within the next 10 years.
I saw a little bit of comment from Iger on that recently that it's full steam ahead. It's happening. Is it happening by 2025?
It should have been happening 5 years ago when they started this other thing. That's what blows my mind is their response time is just so slow. Always has been.
Now,
they got caught with their pants down when Harry Potter Land opened and didn't do squat about it. And then Harry Potter Second Land opened. They're like, well, we have new fantasy land.
Yeah.
Okay.
And of course, this is going to drive some visitors to Walt Disney World as well, because if families are down there to see this,
of course,
they're going to go visit Disney World as well. But it makes me wonder if this is really going to start tipping the scales in terms of people staying over at Universal and day tripping to Walt Disney World, which has typically been the opposite. And with these new hotels that are incredibly
3 new mega hotels,
but affordable,
yes. Not only are they beautiful new hotels, but the price point, is the same thing we said about Aventura, the same thing we said about Endless Summer. You
Endless
can't get
Summer now becomes Endless Summer is closer to Epic Universe, so that's going to become a great a great resort. It already is. They're already beautiful and affordable. It's just a little bit, people see it as a little bit more of a trek to the parks. And it's kind of going to be kind of situated between the two, and a great spot for either.
We've said this all along. The deluxe class hotels at Universal are nicer to me than the deluxe Disney hotels. You get more hotel for your buck.
Mm-hmm.
And if this Grand Helios looks like it's going to be even more bang. I am
so excited for that, because Portofino Bay, it is undergoing a refurb right now, but it has lagged behind their other properties in terms of being updated. It's started to look a little dated. They have recently redone all of the rooms, and they're redoing the facades of the building right now.
The rooms are beautiful. We just looked at them last week.
But Helios Grand I'm excited to see more of what they're going to do with that one.
Yeah. And another thing I totally forgot about until just now I saw it in this article, Brightline is going to have a station right outside of Epic Universe, which means that you're going to have that convenient rail connection to the airport, which is something Disney tries to get.
Disney dropping the ball.
They
said, no, we don't want
that.
one at Disney Springs. Universal's like, we'll take one.
We'll take it. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's going to be another.
Brightline is it's fantastic. We just experienced it. We rode it from Miami up to Orlando a couple of weeks ago.
Wonderful experience.
Such a great experience.
Yeah,
it's
nice, really clean stations, and the trains are immaculate. The service on them is great.
And
the
if you can arrive at MCO and take the train over to Universal, that's a game changer.
Yeah. You've got these hotels, you've got these parks that are getting new things in them. I don't see any reason. I mean, honestly, I think you're right that you're going to see a lot of people changing the order of operations and staying at Universal. They'll go to Disney for a day for Magic Kingdom or for Epcot, but I think we're going to see a shift here. And
I will be that person.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for a lot of.
At this point, if Disney doesn't bring back some kind of transportation option, I don't see how we avoid that, because with no Magical Express and no Brightline option from the airport out to Walt Disney World, this is going to kill them. It really is.
Such short-sighted thinking.
It's time to bring something back for bundling your transportation into your trip. And I hope that we see that sooner rather than later, before any of this opens. I'm not optimistic about it, but I hope some of this spurs that.
I wonder if they're going to have all of the concept art of this park tends to show it at night, lit up with fireworks above it. So I'm wondering what kind of epic nighttime spectacular or spectaculars they may have in this park. That excites me to think about. You got a brand new park with all modern technology. Yeah. They don't really do any night parade at anywhere at Universal. They have some cute daytime parades and street parties, but they could really do.
They tend to try to drive you into City Walk at night at the current parks.
But
I'd love to see them do some great nighttime things here at Epic.
Right. Without City Walk being conveniently right there, they're going to have people to. A reason to keep people there, shopping,
there, spending money and drinking.
They have confirmed that splash pad area, which I forgot to mention, but in Celestial Park, there's this huge splash play area, and at nighttime, it's going to be lit up and be a little bit of a fountain show that you can still use as a splash pad kind of play thing. So that'll be an element at nighttime. But yeah, I think that there's got to be some sort of fireworks or something going on. The studios doesn't do their... It makes me wonder
too whether they'll keep these parks open later than they do their current parks, which tend to close by 8 or 9 o'clock at night. Really, all the time.
There's a lot of nights when they're closing at 7, which is bonkers.
And that's always, I thought, just to funnel people out into the shopping and bars, because that's where the money's at.
Yeah.
When you go in the summertime, half the time you can't be at the park at night because the sun sets so late. They're closed before the sun goes down all the way.
Right.
And you need that in the summer. It's too hot down there.
I know. I always think I'm going to leave during the day, go swim, and then come back at night. And then there is no night. You just go to dinner and there you are at City Walk or back at your hotel.
Yeah.
So I hope there is more nightlife because all the concept art is leaning heavily into night and dusk
What
shots.
it looks like at night, yeah.
Well,
And it does look like it's going to be cool at night.
the whole concept of the park, the outer space of the celestial area and those portals and stuff, it just lends itself to being lit up.
And if they have enough land around there, I want to see a drone show. Gosh dang it!
Yes.
Because the things they're doing at Disneyland Paris with drones and some
There is
other
a dearth of drone shows
places
in
are
the
doing
U.S.
drones.
It's
We
terrible.
need that.
Yeah.
I want a
That'd be
trip to Paris just to see that drone show at Disneyland Paris.
That's the only reason.
That's it, yeah.
If only you knew someone that could make that happen.
Right.
Oh, wait, I know who can make that happen. If you're excited to explore the exciting worlds of Universal's Epic Universe, or maybe visit Disneyland Paris for the drone show, Key to the World Travel has Princess Peach's castle full of expert travel planners. And guess what? They're ready to make your vacation dreams a reality. Head to www.keytotheworldtravel.com to get started with a no-obligation quote. Word of mouth is the best way to help us grow our show. If you have a friend or two who you think would appreciate our special brand of globe-trotting jackassery, tell them what makes our show so great and send them our way. You can find links to subscribe to the show on your favorite apps and all the latest Gold Key Adventure updates at www.goldkeyadventures.com. Can't wait to hang out with you again, and we'll see you real soon.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, everybody. To ask a question or share your travel story, you can reach us by smoke signal, carrier pigeon, or send an email to goldkeyadventurers@gmail.com. And make sure you follow the Gold Key Adventure Society on Facebook and Instagram. A huge thanks to our sponsor, Key to the World Travel. For all your travel planning needs, visit www.keytotheworldtravel.com for a free quote and help planning the trip of a lifetime. Tell them the Gold Key Adventurers sent you. That's www.keytotheworldtravel.com. Key to the World Travel, your key to a magical vacation. Thanks to Outer Vibe for the use of their song Hoka Hey for the intro and outro of our show. Find them on Facebook at The Outer Vibe or check out www.outervibe.com for tour dates, music, merch, and more. We'll see you next week for another meeting of the Gold Key Adventure Society. And until then, remember, life is short and the world is wide. So go have an adventure.